Hey guys, Kitsmith Fishing. So, practice for the Brandon Belt tournament. So Brandon Belt's coming up this weekend. Looks like the weather's going to be better. Still not great thirsty, but a lot better than what it looked like a few days ago. It looks like the low's about 28, high in the low 50s. Some wind out of the northwest, but not gale force winds like we faced basically in the BFL here a few weeks ago, or like those guys would have fished on Friday. And by the way, so yeah, I fished Friday. But I went from Caney to Veach, and the wind was blowing right down the chute. And I'm going to say, yeah, they were 3-footers, but I was able to run the troughs. You know, it's another 7 or 8 miles from there down to where those guys would have come out of, and they'd have had wind coming out of both directions, coming out of the ash arm and out of the other arm. So I don't fault Major League Fishing / FLW or whatever they call themselves these days for canceling that tournament. I think that was a good call. I know it disappointed some guys, but it probably made some guys really happy. I'm gonna say that was a really good call for them not to go fishing on Friday. Somebody asked me today, was the wind blowing harder than it was in the BFL? I don't know that it was. I'm gonna say it was pretty similar conditions. It was different directions. It was almost, this was a northwest, northeast. It changed a little bit throughout the day. And the BFL was a hard southeast wind, but both of those winds blow straight up the chute. The difference is it's not nearly as rough at the dam in a southeast wind, so if you can get to a bank, you can get down there. They would have really, their first 3 or 4 miles would have been brutal, no matter what direction they were going. So they canceled it. I don't blame them for canceling it. So let's give a couple of shout outs to some local guys. Who, and by the way, I feel real bad for River Lee. I know this was River's first tournament. He put a ton of time in, but Rayburn's fishing different. It's just a different lake. But several guys cashed. James Niggemeyer, friend of Kitsmith Fishing, cashed. Congratulations, James. Dickie Newberry cashed, had a really nice tournament. He was disappointed that he didn't make the cut. He told me he did break a fish off the first day that you know, he needed 2 more pounds to make the top 10 cut. Who else? Dakota Ebear certainly didn't have the tournament we expected. And by the way, so maybe one of the best young deep fishermen on Rayburn is Dakota. And the fact that he struggled as much as he did to catch quality bites just tells you how difficult the lake's fishing. Randy Despino, those of you who remember a couple years ago, I fished with Kevin Laseon. Well, the reason Kevin and I paired up is because Randy and Dickie were our respective team partners. They both went to fish the tour, so that's how Kevin and I got connected. So congratulations to Randy, a really nice tournament there. Let's, you know what, I'm going to talk over the fishing. So I had my GoPro camera failed me again. I've updated the firmware again. I use a media mod as the microphone on the camera, and I don't know why I'm having the problems I'm having, but for the second trip to Rayburn in a row, I didn't capture audio off my front camera. I only captured audio off my back camera. So I'm just going to kind of narrate this as we go.
Here we go. Boom. I saw us go over that little I saw us go over that treetop. Turn around and flew back over the treetop.
I never saw the treetop.
Yeah, there's a little top out there. Yeah, baby. They call me the drop shot king. Don't you know nothing? You see that, boys and girls? I'm in the back of my own boat, drop shotting for keepers. It's a fat little old fish too. Golly, that's a chunk. Scott wanted to experiment with my electronics, and we went across a brush pile, or not a pile, a standing tree. I turned around and threw behind the boat and captured one of the elusive beasts out here today. Yeah, you just heard Scott say at least we didn't get skunked. So this is the day they canceled the FLW. It is blowing like a fool. And we are foolish enough to come on back out here. So.
My buddy Scott Pickett came down and practiced and fished with me Friday and Saturday. I fished by myself Thursday, and then I fished by myself on Sunday. It's difficult to practice with the number of people that were on the lake. So Thursday and Friday there were a bunch of people on the lake. I believe the high school teams were practicing. There was a local tournament that those guys were practicing, and then obviously there were 150, 160 FLW Tour guys out there. So I really didn't want to be, so matter of fact, I went to 2 or 3 places that I really wanted to practice, and there were tour guys there. And I'm not going to get in a tour guy's way who's trying to win $100,000. Even though, by the way, I'm trying to win $100,000 as well. But I wouldn't want them to do it to me, so I didn't do it to them. Now, some people might have, but that's just not how I'm wired. So I really kind of fished. I described it to somebody as I fished the holes between fishermen. But it didn't allow me to check some stuff that I'd like to check. I didn't spend any time watching guys. I talked to, matter of fact, really the only guy I even talked to on the water was Jason Reyes. I ran into Jason and just pulled up on him. You might have saw my Instagram post where we chatted just for a minute. Who, by the way, Def Leppard wrapped boat. I love that. But you know, it was tough on those guys. Interestingly, I believe that 8 of the top 10 actually caught their fish looking at them with forward imaging sonar, live scope, whatever, you know, Garmin, Humminbird, or Lowrance. But there's a lot of guys who are good with that who couldn't find the kind of quality fish these guys are finding. Look, Ricky and I have talked. We've got several groups of fish we feel like we can catch. I think you can go a lot of places on the lake and fish, I want to say 15 feet or less, and catch some fish. Matter of fact, one of the spots that I'm showing y'all, as I've shown y'all some of these fish catches, I'm catching those Carolina rig fish in 3 or 4 or 5 feet of water. Now it's right off a creek, but some of those fish are real shallow. And as this water stays warm this week, there's every chance in the world, even with the front hitting Wednesday night, Thursday morning, so a lot of those fish are going to stay shallow. So I'm going to say the fishing's going to be better, but this is not the Sam Rayburn that we normally see this time of year. You know, it's funny. I saw Danny Isles at the Brookshire's Thursday morning gassing up. We were both there gassing up, and I said, what's it? So he caught 26 in the Bass Champs the other weekend and finished second. I said, what's it like to catch 26 and be disappointed? He started laughing, because remember, they caught 49 pounds in this tournament a year earlier. And he said, actually, we were really disappointed, but more at just the general fishing. He said that, I think he told me at 1 o'clock they had 11 or 12 pounds in the boat, and he pulled up and fired a Cloud 20 onto a piece of structure and stuck a fish, told Brian, get the net, dip netted a 10-pounder. Brian was putting the live well. He threw back in there and caught a 7-pounder. And those 2 bites took him from, you know, a 12-pound limit to a 26-pound limit, and almost another win. It is remarkable, if you go back and look at the results, that in January of the last several years, I think every year those 2 guys catch a 10-plus pound fish. It's just remarkable. But, you know, Scott and I talked about it a lot, and we had some really good audio talking about this. What's crazy about that is those guys are specifically fishing for those fish, and that's so hard for most of us to do, because they're really only going to get 5 or 6 bites. Scott equated it to going deer hunting versus going trophy hunting, where you really stalk just a specific animal. And that's what these guys are doing. They're stalking individuals or 2 or 3 fish at a time. And by the way, you know, one of the guys that's also been dominant down there, Derek Mundy and Clay Phillips, they've struggled the last couple of weeks. And, you know, Derek's the one who he broke the record at the BFL last year with, I don't remember what it was now, but 39 pounds maybe at a 13-pounder. And then he had another 30-pound stringer right behind that or right before that. It's just fishing different. It's fishing funky. We're just going to go fishing. We're going to fish wherever that northwest wind is going to let us fish. That's really all we can do.
Oh, he slung my sinker off. Get that little circle hook in there, and they're not getting away from you very often. Nice little chunk.
Sorry guys, I had a frog in my throat. So anyway, We're just gonna go fish Thursday, wherever that window let us fish. You cannot win it Thursday, but you can darn sure lose it. I really hope we can, it's funny. You hear guys say, I went out and swung for the fence. Well, you just about got to swing for the fence every day at Rayburn to be competitive. But I really do think if we can catch 15, 17 pounds, if we catch 35 pounds for 2 days, whether it's 19 and 16 or 23 and 12 or whatever it is, I think that'll make the cut to fish that last day. So we just got to get around where we both know there's some fish and try to catch those fish. We're going to try to up our game a little bit on some things that we both have been working on. And we'll share that with you as we go through the weekend, hopefully with audio. But I've not got a chance to fish with Ricky before. We've known each other for a long time. It's just an odd circumstance that we're both available to fish together. And I'm really looking forward to fishing with him. He's a great guy, and I've never gotten to fish with him, like I said before. But you never know how two guys will mesh together. So we're going to hopefully not knock each other out of the boat. Hopefully our styles mesh well. We're going to go out of my boat one day and his boat one day. Unless we catch him the first day, we're going to go in his boat the first day. If we catch him the first day in his boat, we'll stay in his boat because I'm a little superstitious about stuff like that.
Oh, that fish was rolling with it, wasn't he?
The spot I started on today, I caught 4 out of the 5, and I know this is going to blow your guys' mind, but I never had a bite on a jackhammer all week, so I came into this event thinking I was going to fish shallow grass, and with the high water that they had last year, just kind of messed it up. So went back to my roots, got the spinning rod out, and fished out deep, and pretty much fished brush piles all week, using the Yamamoto shad shape worm, and just hopping around. There's lots of brush piles out there. There's a lot. I want to thank all the crappie fishermen for putting all those brush piles out. Love you, man. Be high. Get you on this week. Chad, come save me. He's gold.
Remember, there's still spots open in this tournament. I think there's a little over 300 boats in it. $100,000 first prize, and what's even more remarkable to me, I don't know why, but big bass, one bite is a Bass Cat Arrow with a 250 Mercury on it. That's a $70,000+ boat. So somebody could win 170 if they win the tournament and win the big bass. I bet it's not the same person though. But we're just going to go fishing, and hope to see you guys down there. We'll be around Wednesday with Brandon and the guys at registration, and then we'll also hopefully be at the Calcutta on Thursday night. Remember, I think there's still sponsor spots available. If you want to try to get into the Calcutta, reach out to those guys, to Carter. If you need his number, reach out to me and let me know. They would still love to pick up some more sponsor money, and I'm sure we could get you to the Calcutta with some sponsor money in there as well. Or you can just flat fish your way into it and be one of the top teams that gets to fish that last day. So sorry about the bad audio again, guys, but I continue to struggle with these stupid cameras, and I continue to try to get them fixed. And hopefully I'll pay more attention to it this weekend, and we'll see y'all down there. Thanks, guys.